Welcome to the Texas Department of Transportation virtual public meeting for the expansion of State Highway 123 from Cordova Road to Interstate 10 in Guadalupe County, Texas. We appreciate your interest in the project and thank each of you for your participation. This is a pre-recorded presentation. During the video, you may pause the presentation and navigate forward or backward using your video player. The common process for the virtual public meeting will be described near the end of this presentation. All the materials for this public meeting are available for viewing and downloading. They can be found on the internet by navigating to www.TxDOT.gov and searching SH123 from Cordova. The video presentation is in English. The presentation script is available in English and Spanish on the project's web page. If you experience technical difficulties with the public meeting, please contact SH123 Cordova 10 at outlook.com or call our public meeting consultant, Karen Cooper-Smith with Jacobs Engineering at 210-494-0088. You may also request special accommodation assistance assessing public hearing materials in language interpretation needs other than English and Spanish. The purpose of this virtual public meeting is to inform you about the proposed project and to request your comments on it. This presentation includes information on the purpose of the project, a description of the project including the design, right-of-way requirements and schedule, and the environmental impacts that would result from the project. We encourage you to submit comments on the project. Please note that the discussions with the project staff will not be included in the official record of the public meeting. If you wish to submit a comment to be part of the official record, you must do so in the ways outlined at the end of this presentation. The deadline to submit comments to be included in the official project record is March 30th, 2022. We will begin our discussion of the project with a brief overview and information on why the project is needed and its purpose before going into more details on the design. The project is located on State Highway 123 from Cordova Road to I-10 on the north side of the city of Seguin in Guadalupe County, Texas. This section of State Highway 123 is typically a 2-lane undivided roadway, and we are proposing to expand it to a 4-lane divided roadway. The project would be constructed with the federal and state transportation funds with a total project cost of approximately $23 million. The project is needed due to increasing levels of traffic which stem from ongoing increases in population and land use changes. In 2020, more than 15,000 vehicles per day travel this section of State Highway 123, and our projections show this increasing to more than 24,000 vehicles per day in 2047. Traffic will nearly double during this time frame. The existing 2-lane roadway with numerous intersecting streets and increasing numbers of driveways, and a mix of cars and trucks, is expected to experience safety and congestion issues with these traffic volumes. According to the data collected in 2019 and 2020, there were 81 crashes and 20 injuries. 78 of the crashes occurred at intersections, and the majority of these were during daylight hours and clear weather. In the future, as the number of cars using this 2-lane roadway increases, the number, type, and severity of crashes may also increase. The graphic on the top of the screen shows an existing typical cross-section view of State Highway 123, which consists of a 2-lane undivided highway with a 12-foot wide travel lane in each direction and 10-foot wide outside shoulders. There are no sidewalks along the road. These features are located in a state-owned right-of-way that is typically 140 to 220 feet wide. On the bottom of the screen is a typical section graphic for the proposed project. This illustrates how the roadway would look in the future once the project is complete. The roadway would consist of two 12-foot wide travel lanes in each direction, separated by a raised concrete median. There would be a 5-foot wide shoulders for bike accommodations, outside curbs, and 6-foot wide sidewalks for pedestrians. We call these images typical sections because this is what the roadway would typically look like. There would be variations in the design along the length of the corridor, which is not shown in the typical section. You can review the design schematics to see these additional details. For example, the raised median would not be continuous. There would be openings in a median at various intersections and to allow turnaround movements. There would be left and right turn lanes at various locations. The additional travel lanes, raised medians, turn lanes, outside curbs, and sidewalks would all contribute to corridor safety. The preliminary schematic illustrates a plan view of the proposed roadway improvements and right-of-way requirements and was developed with input from the City of Seguin and other stakeholders. Since the project is over 2 miles long, it is not practical to show the entire schematic at a reasonable scale in the presentation. We encourage you to view and download the schematic from TxDOT website at www.txdot.gov. Keyword search SH123 from Cordova. We are going to take a closer look at the area shown in red to familiarize you with the different types of features which are shown on the schematic. This image shows a schematic where State Highway 123 intersects with Business 123. The schematic is superimposed on an aerial photo which shows the existing streets and driveways. The proposed roadway areas are shown in blue. As shown in this image, we would be reconstructing the portions of some of the driveways within the state right-of-way in conjunction with the widening of State Highway 123. The roadway would be bordered by curbs and sidewalks which are shown in purple. A raised concrete median would separate the opposing lanes of traffic throughout most of the project limits as shown in red. There would be openings in the raised median at various locations for the crossover and turning movements. The white dashed lines represent property lines between the existing publicly owned rights-of-way and other property. We refer to these as right-of-way lines. All proposed improvements would be constructed within existing public right-of-ways, with the exception of one small area of the proposed right-of-way for drainage improvements near the southeast corner of State Highway 123 and Cordova Road. This image shows the only location where we propose to acquire any additional property for the project. It is located near the southeast corner of State Highway 123 and Cordova Road, also known as Lulbrook Road. The area is a strip of land about 13 to 15 feet wide and totals 0.16 acre. It is illustrated by a bold green dashed lines on the schematic. The right-of-way would be acquired in accordance with the Uniform Location Assistance and Real Properties Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, as amended. TxDOT has 3 documents which provide additional general information on the right-of-way purchasing process, including topics such as appraisal, compensation, and relocation assistance. These documents may be found at the website address shown here. There's only one area where we are proposing to acquire right-of-way for this project, and there are no buildings on this area. Therefore, no displacements or relocations are anticipated. In addition to the typical sections and schematic, TxDOT has prepared a flyover video to help people visualize what the project would look like. This is a still image taken from the flyover visualization video showing the proposed intersection of State Highway 123 at Business 123. We encourage you to watch the flyover video, which is posted on TxDOT's webpage and on YouTube, It can be accessed using the directions shown on this slide. We're going to discuss the environmental impacts associated with the project. The proposed project would be funded by the Federal Highway Administration, and it is a major federal action subject to the National Environmental Policy Act. TxDOT conducted studies to evaluate the environmental impacts of the proposed project. The project was classified as a categorical exclusion for purposes of proceeding with the environmental review. The environmental review, consultation, and other actions required by the applicable federal environmental laws for this project are being or have been carried out by TxDOT pursuant to 23 U.S.C. 327 and a Memorandum of Understanding dated December 9, 2019, and executed by FHWA and TxDOT. Upon completion of public involvement, TxDOT will make a final categorical exclusion determination if warranted. We performed a variety of environmental analyses for the project, including topics such as natural and cultural resources and traffic noise. We're going to review some of the findings. We determined that the project would have no effect on any state or federally listed threatened or endangered species. The monarch butterfly is a candidate for a federal listing, and if it becomes listed before the project is complete, we will consult with the USFWS to ensure compliance with the Endangered Species Act. There is a potential habitat for some rare, non-listed species to occur in the project area. We would utilize best management practices during construction to avoid and minimize any impacts to these plants and animals. The project would have no direct impacts to any water resources since no floodplains or waters of the U.S. are located in the project limits. Based on our Memorandum of Understanding with the Texas Historical Commission, we determined the project would have no effect on any archaeological or historic sites that are potentially eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. The most common questions we get about environmental issues pertain to traffic noise. TxDOT conducted a traffic analysis of the proposed project using computer modeling software that was created by the Federal Highway Administration. Based on FHWA criteria, a noise level of 66A weighted decibels, shown as dBA, would constitute a noise impact at a residential receiver, such as a backyard. The computer model was used to predict noise levels at 7 different locations, or receivers along the corridor. We determined that the proposed project would result in traffic noise impacts at 2 of the 7 receivers. The computer model was then used to determine the effect that a 20-foot tall noise barrier located near the right-of-the-way line would have on the noise levels at those receivers. The modeling shows that the noise barrier would not achieve the minimum noise reduction design goal of 7A weighted decibels, which is necessary for a barrier to be considered feasible and reasonable. Based on this analysis, no noise barriers would be included in the project. Our report also includes information to assist local planning officials and developers plan and construct new activity areas far enough from the roadway so that noise-sensitive land uses will not experience traffic noise impacts. We have included a copy of the traffic noise study on our website for your convenience. This graphic illustrates the overall project timeline. The asterisk denotes that these dates are subject to change. Pending feedback from this event and completion of the project public involvement requirements, we anticipate to make a decision on the project resulting in environmental clearance in early 2022. After that time, we may proceed with the acquisition of the right-of-way and the detailed design work that is necessary to transform the project from a schematic to a detailed construction plans and specifications that are necessary for bidding. Utility relocations may also occur after this milestone. The project is funded for construction in our fiscal year 2026, and we anticipate construction beginning in the winter of 2025-2026. Although these dates are subject to change, They are consistent with the current planning documents. TxDOT is asking the public to provide comments on the project in the following ways. Leave written comments on a comment card at the in-person event. Email your comments to sh123cordova10@outlook.com. Mail your comments to attention sh123 project 911 Central Parkway North, Suite 200, San Antonio, Texas 78232. Use the online comment form at www.txdot.gov, keyword search sh123 from Cordova. All comments must be received or postmarked by March 30th, 2022. You may also submit a combination of both verbal and written comments. All the comments and our responses to the comments will be presented in a public meeting report, which will be posted on our website. All the public hearing materials can be found on TxDOT's website at www.txdot.gov by searching SH123 from Cordova. You are welcome to review and comment on any materials. The public may call project staff during regular office hours or email project staff to ask questions about the project at any time in the project development process. For questions about this project, please contact our public involvement consultant using the contact information shown on this slide and in the meeting materials. Please note that the discussions with the project team members will not be included in the official record of the public meeting. If you wish to submit a comment to be part of the official record of this public meeting, you must do so formally, in the ways outlined in this presentation. The deadline to submit comments to be included in the official meeting summary is March 30th, 2022. Thank you for participating in this public meeting.